here with Ola Bostrom of Autoliv. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Peter.
Yeah. You enjoying the show so far?
So actually, I haven't really enjoyed the show yet. I'm about to do this afternoon.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your role with Autoliv?
So I'm Vice President of the research, meaning I'm heading all the research within Autoliv globally.
Okay. Excellent. And what is and so you come up with basically the technologies in it?
We are part of that.
Mm-hmm.
We are a dedicated team of 50 people supporting and working together with the rest of the Autoliv organization around the globe.
Awesome. Well, I was really fortunate yesterday. I got to go out to the test track and see the amazing cars. I thought maybe if you could talk about the Liv car a little bit, and tell us about that.
Yeah. So the Liv car, she's called Liv.
Liv,
and no, it's Liv or Liv. Liv means life in Swedish. Okay. It's part of Autoliv as well. It's the learning intelligent vehicle. So did you like it?
Yeah, it was incredibly interesting. I mean, like I had read about the car before, but experiencing it firsthand is an entirely different beast. So
we can see that now during the demonstrations yesterday and today, people really appreciate it. So what we want to show in that car is that given we have all the technologies we have seen so far with, of course, the airbags and the belt, and the radars and the vision, we want to really take into account the human into the design of the car.
Okay.
Yeah. If we compare to the 80s, with the aircraft industry, at that time, human error was considered to be the cause of accidents.
Okay.
And you can hear that today from regarding cars, right? Human error is the cause of accidents. So in the 80s, the philosophy of engineers was to take away the pilot. Much easier. Autopilot from start to landing. Forget about the humans. That did not happen. So instead of considering human error as the cause of accidents, it was considered to be a deeper insight instead. And instead of getting rid of the pilot, designing the cockpit, and this time in the aircraft, to have a shared control, to have a joint cognitive system, and to create a trust, a two-way trust between the machine and the driver. And with Liv, that is what we want to show, how to actually create that trust, because humans can trust each other.
Right.
Yeah? We don't trust anyone. We trust particular few people.
Right.
Depending on the situation. We have harder to trust the machine. We believe that to create this trust, we need to step by step do what we show example of in the Liv vehicle. I mean, as one example, do you remember what happened in the intersection? And
yes, where I came up to the intersection and the other cars were coming. Yes.
And the car had a good understanding of your attention there, when you were looking to the left and when you were looking to the right. So when you were looking to the left, the car was saying it's clear to the right, and vice versa.
Right.
And here we believe that you can create a trust with the car understands you. You are not paying attention to the right because you are paying attention to the left.
Yeah.
Which means the car can tell you it's clear to go now.
Right.
And you noticed maybe the steering wheel giving you a small nudge.
Right.
Yep.
So, what are some of the, because it has to be a little difficult to get a customer or a person to trust a technology or a car. In this case, what are some of the things that you've thought of or worked in to try to overcome this obstacle?
So for one thing, we cannot do this. We have to do this step by step. We don't fully understand what it takes. We have to do research.
Right.
One of the reasons why we don't fully understand it is we haven't seen the situation where actually cars are as automated as they are and will be. I can give you one example. I had these conversations with a colleague who told me he was almost into a crash because he used a car without the blind spot detection. It happened that he did not regard blind spot as a true safety measure, until he was out of it.
Right. Once you need it, you realize that you actually do need it.
And there will be this type of situation now, where you go from car to car, from situation to situation, and you will become dependent on the car. That's the reason why we need to understand how to cooperate between the car and the driver.
So, especially at this show, there's a ton of coverage and interest in autonomous vehicles, which might be coming a ways down the road. Why do you think it's so important with Autoliv or the industry in general to still have that human component and be very cognizant of how people drive in the real world?
So to start with, we are number one in safety.
Okay.
We understand safety. We are the largest maker of airbags, of belts, of radars, and steering wheels. And enabled to do this, to create this trust. This is not an add-on. It's not sort of add on a particular technology. This is about integrating and come up with a complete system. And we believe that Autoliv is the supplier that can do that. And again, not doing this all of a sudden, but step by step.
Well, with all the success of Autoliv, and again being number one in the radar, seatbelts, airbags, how does the company achieve that? Is it just dedication to saving lives? That can't be an accident that you guys are number one. What do you think?
It's part of our culture. And it's a way to recruit people as well. We have a very clear vision of saving lives. Actually, we changed the vision to saving more lives. To understand that it's not good enough to continue working with belts, airbags, and radars. We have to really do something more, which is an example is in the Leave car. But this vision, saving more lives, is helping us to recruit people and to maintain that in our culture.
Do you think in the next few years, that this type of software and technology will be as ubiquitous as a seatbelt, and in the same way you wouldn't want to buy a car without a seatbelt, people aren't going to want to buy a car without this technology?
I believe so. I believe so, and I also believe that we will extend the definition of safety and incorporate user experience. I would say already today, safety is part of the user experience. If you, as you mentioned, the belt, it's not a good user experience to drive a car without a seatbelt and knowing that there's no airbag in this car, right? So you take it for granted. And what we want to do is to use all these technologies, incorporate into the car, and being part of the safety. And people may call it user experience. That's okay.
Ola, can you tell me a little bit more about real life?
So, When we say we are dedicated to safety, that doesn't mean that it's just complying with regulations and ratings. We mean safety by really taking care of the variety of situations which is out there. And that for us is real life safety.
Well, this is Peter Giedel with Innovation and Tech Today. Again, Ola, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come talk to us about the amazing work you guys are doing. And if you want to learn more, you can go to autoliv.com, and you can also go to innovationtechtoday.com to learn all the updates about CES. Thank you, and have a good day.